Smeljan and welcome to the WZ-132 review, the Chinese Tier 8 light tank. First of all, my apologies for not making too many videos lately and for the echo you'll probably hear in this video, but I moved into my own place recently, as some of you might know, and that is a cause for both of those things. But without saying anything more, let's get into the WZ-132. So first of all, my thoughts on light tanks in this game is that they are shit. Everything a light tank can do, a medium tank one tier higher can do better. Most cases. I mean, lower tiers maybe that's not true, but when it comes to tier 8 light tanks, everything a tier 8 light tank can do, a T-54 can do better. It's faster, it has armor, it has better guns. And if you are looking even deeper in that, half of the time you'll be in tier 10 matchmaking, and in that kind of matchmaking, everything a light tank can do, Batchat can do 7 times better. So, fuck light tanks, they fucking suck, and there's no point playing them. So, once we have established that I'm a light tank hater, how does the WZ-132 compare to the other light tanks? Well, not very well. First of all, it doesn't have an autoloader, so 3090 is completely out of its league. And comparing it to the tanks that do not have autoloader, it is just worse than the RU-251, which is the king of tier 8 light tanks. This thing has absolutely nothing going for it compared to the RU-251, apart from 5 meter radio signal range, which is super important, as we all know. It is slower, it has a worse gun. The only thing this thing is better than the RU-251 is traverse speed. Super important. Well, that's actually kind of nice, but I mean, the tank is slower, it is, the gun is worse, has slightly higher alpha damage, about the same pen, but the DPM is lower. I know what you're saying, but wait, the WZ has good camo because China. Well, that's actually not true. The RU-251 actually beats the WZ quite significantly. Fun fact, the Batchat even has better camo than the WZ-132. Also proving that light tanks are a waste of time, and like really, in all seriousness, the only real point to play a light tank is to spawn in these tier 9 games and farm low tiers that don't have any view range. Other than that, these tanks are just worse than any medium tank in the game, pretty much. Well, according tiers, of course. So, enough ranting. How to play this tank? Well, first of all, you have choices of 2 guns, the 85mm with the kind of lowish penetration of 172 or something like that, and 200 alpha damage. The DPM is increased by around 300 over the 100mm, but I still prefer the 100mm because of the higher penetration and higher alpha damage allows you to trade slightly better with your enemies. Well, I guess you get my point in my rant. You might agree or disagree, but whatever. The WZ has choice between 2 guns, really. The Elite, the 85mm gun, will have better DPM, worse penetration with regular in it, and gold rounds, and the gold rounds are heat as well with less penetration. That's not really a good sign. Heat is not really a very nice shell. It offers you pretty much nothing over APCR and has slower shell velocity as well. Usually they have like ultra high pen, but this is actually not the case with the WZ-132. So the gold rounds are better on this gun, and the alpha damage is better on this gun. The other gun has significantly better DPM though, 300, that's around 15% better DPM. So there is a point of using that other gun. It has lower penetration with the standard round, so you might find yourself slinging more heat than you would want to, but that's your choice. So after giving all that crap to the little tank, there is good news too. The T-34-2 is so bad, the tier 8 Chinese medium tank that is the other choice when grinding the WZ-120, that actually the light tanks are a preferred route. You will have to deal with the trouble arranging your crew properly, but it's not really a big deal compared to how bad the T-34-2 is. So yeah, this thing is the only really real reason I would recommend you to grind this is if you want to get the 121. Otherwise, I mean, tier 8 light tanks are not very good compared to tier 9 mediums or tier 10 mediums, and that is the kind of tanks that is the kind of other tanks you could be playing. So I managed to not rant about medium tanks being better than light tanks for about a minute, and now we're back again, and that is really the conclusion of this video. don't play light tanks, play medium tanks. And if you really are a fan of light tanks, go either for the RU-251 or the 1390 or the T-71 or the Bulldog, because those things have autoloaders, and the RU-251 is just better than this thing in every way possible. So the game that was running in the background while I was ranting, I pretty much took the early spotting bush in the middle. You're gonna need to be cautious when you do that in higher tiers. When you're in tier 10 game against good players, they can blind shot you there quite easily. If I was in a medium tank, I could have pushed further and spotted better, but I wasn't in a medium, so I didn't take take my chances there. But still a reasonable game for a light tank. And as you see in the end play, not very spectacular game. You can always do better. Light tanks are good for farming experience and VNA, and that might be the only reason you want to fucking play these tanks. But yeah, the end played 1936 experience, 3821 damage done, 2706 spotted. Isn't half bad, but it isn't anything to really be proud of. And I didn't show this game because I was especially proud of it. I just wanted to rant about light tanks for 5 minutes, and I have done that. And one more thing before I forget, because people always ask this, equipment you want to use on your light tanks is rammer, vert stab, and coated optics. You can't go for camo net if you're like really into passive scouting, but I wouldn't really bother with that shit because half of the maps don't have a single bush for you to sit in, so it's not very useful to say the least. So I hope you enjoyed my rant. I hope I gave you something to think about next time you bring out your light tank, and just think about what you could do in a medium tank that is one tier higher, because that is pretty much the matchmaking you get in your lights. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one.